So dudes, somebody left me a polite comment asking if there was anything that would encourage me to do regular Siege content again. Quote, doubt you'll see this, but seems like you've moved on from Siege. Do what makes you happy. Is there anything specific that would bring you back? I like your R6 Pro League stuff. Hope you're well. And when I got to typing a reply, I realized that I had a lot of thoughts racing that I really wanted to get out in a dedicated video rather than just a reply to somebody on the YouTube comments section or a community post. Outside of the context of a dedicated video, there's just too many things that I'm going to leave unsaid. Now, I could answer this question by just saying a working anti-cheat and move on, and that would be kind of a half meme. The cheaters are annoying, but there are steps being made by Ubisoft to curtail them. The balance is annoying, but I've been playing Siege for a long time, and I usually adapt to whatever's going on. What would be less irritating on its own, but becomes very irritating when combined with these two things, is the community. For 5 years, Siege got me through school, and it got me out of my parents' basement when coronavirus hit. During all those years, I went from casual silver trash lord...
C4.
Drop the diffuser. Down to one friend.
Snake, what's wrong? Snake! Snake!
To competitive 10-mans and go-4s. I realized rather quickly that competitive in the Siege community was, to many people, a chance to play professionally and not just a fun hobby. And while I never got to a point where I was dropping fragtages with a diamond or champion charm, I like to think that hitting Plat 2 was enough for me to say that I was decent at the game. So when I talk about the game in a competitive sense, I'm not trying to talk down to anyone, and I'm not trying to talk to people from a place of authority that I don't have. I'm literally just trying to help, because I was in that position where I didn't know what I was doing either at one point. That's the whole point of these videos. In a roundabout way, it's kind of a thought experiment, me doing character how-tos for Siege. To get to a point where I'm satisfied with the script I've written for a character how-to, I have to do a lot of research and really get an idea of what I'm talking about before I open up Audition and start recording the voiceover. The old French saying of, to teach is to learn twice, is very true. The reason I'm so fixated on it is because, in my opinion, competitive Siege is one of the most fun experiences you can have playing an FPS game. When you're in a coordinated stack with a plan and the ability to execute on that plan, it is some of the most intense and satisfying gaming you're ever gonna get. Siege is great when it combines gun skill with strategy. It was never about one or the other. It was always about the two joined at the hip to create a unique experience that no other game had. Another cool aspect about it is that it offers both in varying degrees. Gunners who are skilled enough can certainly frag out, and big brains can do the dirty work. I think basketball's a pretty good analogy to describe Rainbow Six Siege, where a good shooting guard can run up the scoreboard, but a good center can do a lot of work defending their side of the court. When done right, Siege rewards competency, specialization in a role, and knowledge of the game, like any good sport should do. Everything that I said in the past 2 minutes and 50 seconds is irrelevant to Kapkan Kyle, who sits in Vault Villa for 3 minutes. I have nothing against Kapkan Kyle. I'm sure Kapkan Kyle is a nice dude. He knows what he likes. The occasional flash as a gunplayer is satisfying, but there's something about the tactical nature of setting up a trap and having it go well that provides a fun gameplay loop. There's nothing wrong with that. The Kapkan Kyles that get an attitude are, however, some of the most insufferable people to deal with on the internet, and this community has a lot of them. As I said, I don't think Kapkan Kyle is a bad person, and I'm not trying to be an elitist. I'm using this as a blanket term to describe a lot of different people. I'm sure there are plenty of casual Siege players who aren't this way. The problem is that they're drowned out by this chorus of angry people. When it was announced that Valkyrie won't be able to throw cameras outside anymore, the Kapkan Kyle company came out in full force to complain in comment sections across the country. All Ubisoft had to say was Valkyrie has an 80% ban rate in competitive, and that would have been a good enough argument. No character in a character-based game should have that much influence. It's Rainbow Six Siege, not Valkyrie 6 Siege. Of course, the common counter-argument to this was just to bring IQ, which was flawed, because in the current frag grenade-dependent meta, that's a ridiculous thing to demand. Bringing IQ is just not justifiable right now. I could go on and on. But my point is, I don't use Pro League because I love Pro League so much, and you should watch it too, to be as smart and awesome as I am. I don't even watch that much Pro League. I've watched maybe part of one invitational game this year, and I'll definitely try to watch past groups in the grand final, but really, I use Pro League as a reference book, like an encyclopedia of Siege knowledge, an indicator of trends, and data that might be useful for writing my videos. I use Pro League like a source, like I would for any paper I'd write in school. Because whether Kapkan Kyle likes it or not, Pro League is an authoritative source on some aspects about how the game is played. The people who get upset at that idea need to get over it. But I digress. Circling back to the beginning of this video, I've been making Siege content for a pretty long time. I've made a how-to for every character in the game, and while not all of them do, a significant portion of them do consult PL games as a source. It's frustrating because a lot of the time, I get the impression that I've just wasted my time doing that. In CSGO, if somebody uses a meme gun that sucks, you tell them it sucks and they go, I know. In Valorant, if somebody plays Yoru, you tell them Yoru sucks and they go, I know. In Siege, if you tell somebody Thorn sucks, they start screaming. It's fucking weird. It's like many members of the Siege community have developed this weird kind of relationship with aspects of the game to create their own personality, and this defensiveness is like a reflex to protect their ego. Kapkan Kyle is doing everything right and has more game knowledge than you, probably. Okay, and you calling him out, that makes you a mean person. Kapkan Kyle's arch nemesis is Ranked Ryan, who is too invested in the competitive aspects of the game, who treats Ranked like Invite, who is an all-chat warrior, who can never be bested in a 1v1 gunfight unless you did something stupid that he couldn't predict. And that's the only reason you killed him, okay? Don't think that you just won the fight. You got lucky. Never mind that telegraphing your peak with an open window is an easy way for you to get shot, but couldn't have been something that I did right. Ranked Ryan might be mechanically good at the game, maybe even very good, and in some cases probably better than me, Greg, on YouTube, who makes videos about the video game. Ranked Ryan will frag a content creator in Twitch, and then clip that and title it ass. But Ranked Ryan's skill in Siege is negated by the childlike behavior patterns he shares with Kapkan Kyle. Ranked Ryan will never get signed to a team, and if he does, he'll probably get kicked because he's a dickhead, or he'll sit in a state of perpetual mediocrity on a team that can't sign more marketable players that actually have gun skill and game knowledge at the same time, instead of just gun skill. Kapkan Kyle and Ranked Ryan are the same person. It's just one of them is kind of good at the game, and the other one is kind of bad. That's pretty much it. Siege just has a very egotistical community, and I think it actively keeps people from getting into the game, and in some ways is driving people away. Kapkan Kyle blows up Ranked Ryan with 2 traps on a door, and Ranked Ryan types question mark in all chat. Ranked Ryan fries Kapkan Kyle, and Kapkan Kyle types virgin in the game chat, because the only way to be good at a video game is to be a virgin. You're still doing something wrong. Even if you're good, you're still doing something wrong because I'm mad. This weird behavior pattern seems to permeate through every facet of the game, and I don't know if it's just me reading into it too much, but I see it in the in-game chat, I see it in Twitter pages, I see it in YouTube comment sections, Twitch chat. These are all things that do happen in other competitive shooters, but it really feels like it happens a lot in Siege. Siege uniquely feels like a battleground for opinionated people. People who think the game should be tailor-made specifically for them, instead of just being a good game that multiple people can enjoy. And I think Ubisoft understands that the game is most popular with Kapkan Kyle, so that's who they'll target. And Ranked Ryan resents Ubi for doing that. So much that an army of Ranked Ryans will force the guy who worked on the new UI to delete their Twitter account because it's not an anti-cheat? I mean, what? All this bickering and arguing takes all the air out of the room for me, when the game of Siege is still there, and that's what makes it frustrating. When High Caliber dropped, I didn't really care about Thorn. I didn't care about the new UI, or the reworked player portraits and the cosmetic stuff. I wanted to strat and figure out the new Outback, because what I played in the capture event turned out to be really fun. It fixed everything I disliked about the previous iteration of that map. It felt like I was playing Siege again, creating plans and trying to execute on them in an environment no other FPS game provided. I couldn't wait to try this map out with the 5-man team. And what I got on the first day of that Twitch stream was thoughts on new UI. Thoughts on UI? New UI. I don't like the new UI. Sucks. I don't like it. I don't like. Oh my god, the new UI. What did they do, dude? I thought the old Outback was fine. I don't know why they changed it. The 2 opportunities I got to play Outback, the other team banned it. 1 match, it was banned in the map ban phase. 2nd match, banned in the map ban phase. 2 matches, back to back, Outback was banned by the other team. It was the 2nd day that the patch had rolled out. So any objective arguments that could be made about the map being poor quality were not capable of being made, because nobody had even fucking played it. I spent more time during my streams talking about a non-gameplay altering change than actual new content to interact with, and it pissed me off. So I decided to take a break. Siege is a game that's so complex that it puts normal people off and attracts egotistical people who get a kick out of playing the smart person game for smart people. I'm kind of over it. What's going to bring me back to Siege? the feeling that I'm actually teaching people something, which I only really get from my operator how-tos. So, I guess we'll see. Deuces.